And welcome back to the Rocket League OCE Championship League Play for week number 4. My name is Hysterics, joined by the lovely Courier Lord, who, my God, has some good chest hair. And this is Jake Edwards at the end as well, who you know from the Chiefs, but not anymore. Speaking of the Chiefs, gentlemen, it is Chiefs taking on Justice Esports. And after that wild display from Justice, I believe in miracles, Mr. Courier Lord.
Well, that makes one of us, right?
One of us.
Yeah.
Okay, well, that's fine. That's absolutely fine. Obviously, I'm a big fangirl of Justice Esports, but how do these guys interact with each other, Jake? Because it feels like Justice kind of brought something out of the woodwork in that last series.
Look, Justice is super exciting as a team. Like, we weren't expecting so much from them. We saw potential, but they've really have unleashed it. Last week, Legacy, they looked really strong against Ground Zero here.
Yep.
But it's still Chiefs.
Yeah, it's still Chiefs. So, like, the goal is a little bit different when you go up against Chiefs. It's how many games, if a game, can you get from them? So when you verse a tiebreaker in another team, you have a game that most teams can't get.
SYF Gaming showed us they could take a game against the Chiefs, and I think for Justice Esports, you'd be saying the same thing, that they have the potential to, I guess, make that mini upset happen.
I gotta say, though, that game was not convincing. For anyone watching, I think Chiefs missed, like, 5 open nets, 5, like, sorta open nets. Yeah. That was a real...
Oh, fanboy of the Chiefs, by the way. No.
Yeah, it was a Chiefs game to lose, not a game that they actually, the other team won.
It was a Chiefs game to just, like, forget how to hit the ball, honestly.
No,
like,
that's fair as well. And I think for Justice Esports, there were games where they were kind of teetering over the edge, especially against Ground Zero just then. So what's the difference? Like, measure up for me, this is going to sound stupid, Ground Zero and the Chiefs. Like, show me the gap.
So...
How wide do your hands go, Jake? That's what we're asking here.
Not wide enough.
No, yeah.
But so the thing about Justice just then, where they were doing really good scramble defense, and Ground Zero weren't able to punish that. Chiefs are not going to be that merciful.
Forgiving.
Forgiving. Yeah, I
like
think Justice were doing a real good job of really defending when they were struggling, getting it out of defense, keeping pressure. Chiefs are not good at... the Chiefs are excellent at keeping pressure, scoring those opportunities, and I think Justice won't be able to get away with that scramble defense.
Yeah, they have Drip A. That's kind of the...
Yeah, and they have Drip A.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a hard matchup to kind of justify. I did that not intentionally. To justify, because Chiefs are just on this rampage at the moment alongside Tainted Minds. A lot of people sitting at home saying that Chiefs are going to go to RLCS again. Who's going to join them? It's probably going to be Tainted Minds. And I guess this matchup shows us that if there's anyone who can maybe contest later down the track, well, then it could be Justice, or it could be, you know, it could be Tainted Minds.
No, I think it's only Tainted Minds. I think Tainted Minds is the only team that has any realistic expectation of being able to say, we have a chance against Chiefs.
Yeah.
And then for this match and every other team that versus Chiefs along the way, it's, can we get a game? Because that game will be helpful in a tiebreaker, because no one else is really going to get those games. Like, SYF might get one, and then that'll be it.
Again, though, so Chiefs did just forget how to play the game last week for one of those games. That can happen, though. So they're really not a shoe-in for World Championship. Anything can happen on the day.
Let's just go super quick, because we are about to jump in. So, Jake, just a quick prediction from you.
3-0.
Chiefs, Korea.
I love they're not a shoe-in. 3-0. I'm going to go with it. 3-0.
We don't even need the graphic. I'm going to go Chiefs as well. At the moment, it looks like a bit of a shoe-in, but Justice Esports have put up a good performance. And no, I'm not a flip-flop, but Justice, I do think, will put, you know, some kind of metal.
No, it will be a good game. Justice is still good.
All right.
Don't get me wrong.
All right, Justice is still good. You heard it from him yourself. Justice Esports taking on Chiefs Esports.
Yeah, I think that's an important point, right? It's not a reflection of Justice, the fact that they can lose to Chiefs, because everybody loses to Chiefs. They can still be a top 4 team and not have a great performance against the best in OCE.
It's incredible that we have this skill gap in OCE, that there's a team so dominant that no one can stand up to them. When we find out now to just put that nail in the coffin, Torsos off that backboard, who won't find anything, but it's set up nicely for Drip A into the back of the net. An easy one to start Chiefs off.
And that's what you had Drip A for. He goes through the scramble defense. He goes through every defense. He is an absolutely phenomenal striker. And when you give the opportunity of only one defender who's sitting there looking outwards rather than sitting at rear post, pretty much a free goal.
Well, for Chiefs, that first goal is going to set them up nicely there. Career and Justice Esports already on the back foot. We look at Chiefs' run. They start with Justice Esports. They move forward onto Avant, and then Tainted Minds the matchup. They have to win, but Chiefs in front of that net once again, looking poised. The final member of Torsos will not find the goal, but you see breaking through that defense of Justice.
Yeah, we saw that little headbutt there where Geetsy was taken out. I think that's going to be a metaphor for how the rest of the game will go.
Well, for Justice, still trying to push through and get onto that attack. Stay on it is a better word, but Drip A with the dribble. He'll get demoed by Steve. Geetsy able to push up. From the wing now for Justice. Center field, the pass. Pretty good, but no one's up for the ball. Steve all the way forward. Be Kami, who will lob it over to the side. Chiefs still holding strong. There's no deterrence here in the defense. Kami denied the solo play.
Yeah, and Chiefs pretty confident there. Two players just sitting back, allowing Kami free reign as he goes up the pitch, knowing that either of them can come forward and take the opportunity if they so see.
For Justice Esports, Yeezy tried to dribble the ball himself. Only one goal, so still doable for Justice. Steve, he'll bring it forward. Torsos with a pinch away. It'll be reacted by Steve. Drippay up for the ball. Can anyone from Justice get there? The punch through. An opportunity there for Steve and Wiss. Kami, he'll save it away, but now the counter-attack from Chiefs. This is where things are going to get punishing. The touch from Drippay sets it up nicely. Defense from Yeezy, much needed there.
Yeah, Chiefs not as quick to come into the offense after the setup from Drippay takes out nearly every single player on their team, but they still have pressure, they still have time, and the ball is in their favor.
Well, the bump away from Yeezy, not going to be much. Steve pops it up. Kami getting caught by surprise, but Torsos will recover. Speak of the devil, no boost here on Torsos. He'll wait patiently, pick up that corner boost, gets bumped out of the way, but we're looking at Kami, who's just rolled the ball. Torsos with the slow dribble now.
Patient.
From the corner, he finds nothing. Back up to Drippay, the demo for Wiss. Yeezy now setting it up, the pass wide, but they've given too much room for Torsos. The second touch not there. Kami, Drippay both commit up, but Steve has run out of boost. Justice Esports able to push up, so still opportunity here in game one.
That was off the back of a demo though, so that may be something they need to utilize to open up the goals of Chiefs. They may have scrambled back in time for the defense, but an unsuspected demo might be enough for a surprise factor.
For Justice Esports though, that unsuspecting demo, let's add another layer. Unsuspecting plays that could come through, these passing plays in peculiar, in specificity is what I'm trying to say. A miss there by Torsos. Sorry, it was Drippay. Torsos with the demo. Chiefs only still that one goal. Torsos trying to get the clear. Drippay reacts to the pass. Yeezy has committed all the way forward with no boost. Kami now pushes it back forward. Drippay with the setup, but Torsos can't get to the ball. Tries to get that intercept, but Wiss wins it over. Justice Esports still playing with time here, 1 minute 45.
And Chiefs playing pretty confidently and a little bit safer than I was expecting. They are going quite deep for some of their boost pickups, making sure they don't fall prey to Justice, having that all-out offense that might sneak up on them.
Steve with the defense there, good block. Justice Esports have been able to get it out onto that attack. Steve with the wide pass over to Wiss. It stays to this corner on the right wing, and now coming up is Steve, but denied again. Big clears from Chiefs. They turn it into the attack off that backboard. Yeezy comes in, a favorable touch. Wiss takes full control, and Justice Esports trying to turn the storybook on its head. Still 1-0. Denying as much from Chiefs as possible. Yeezy has run out of boost once again, and Steve tries to deny that epic clear. He actually goes further. Kami finally gets a touch, and it's Torsos off the backboard. Where is Drippay? Bumps up his rear. That's actually Kami. Says, oh, hey, how you doing? And with 50 seconds left remaining, the Chiefs still only one goal.
The deceptive thing about the scoreboard at the moment is despite the fact that we do have a situation, another great defense there from Torsos holding it out. The interesting that comes from this is despite the fact it is just 1-0, Chiefs have had so much control, so much possession, and Justice struggles to find a meaningful shot.
But still, it shows the growth of Justice Esports. The rookie squad, 3 players holding strong. Stronger than any other teams you would say at the moment. Against the Chiefs, 25 seconds. A couple of big plays. Kami off the wall now. Drippay brings it to a standstill, and great defense there from Justice. But 15 seconds remaining, and they're trying to keep it down here. Deny game one. The pinch turns on the ground and then rotates back up into the air. Chiefs, I think they've held out strong enough. This is one big play left for Justice. The clock counting down. It's Steve off the corner, but it bounces down. 1-0 for Chiefs.
So the interesting thing for me here is the fact that Chiefs played confidently but safely as they were going into it. So the number of shots is going to be the big indicator here from Justice Esports. So whilst the score may have been so different, so similar, it's the number of shots that are really going to be looking at. Only 2 coming out from Justice entirely, which were easily saved from Chiefs.
But it doesn't matter. I'm going to interject here. It does not matter for Justice Esports. Like, we've pinned them down at the start to say they are, the crap team. And that's wrong, right?
That was unfair. I wouldn't go that far.
No. But we've pinned them down. What I'm trying to do is find this happy medium where Justice Esports, and they're not. That's right. Let me bring it back up for you. They're not the crap team. They're a team that have held out the Chiefs 1-0 against the Chiefs when they're in form, and it looks like they are to a degree, is a great start for Justice Esports. And so for me, game 2 kind of gets a bit interesting because the opportunities created there were still some moments where you're like, Justice have that opportunity, to get those early goals against the Chiefs.
So for me, the takeaway is you have to keep in mind they are a team that's currently coming in 4th. They started the day in 4th. They just had a win. So they're pretty much locked in the top 4 finish, assuming they don't have a ball drop next week. So I think it's pretty unfair to say that they're a crap team when they're coming in top 4.
That's fair. No, you know what I'm saying, correct.
But I
you know
understand
exactly
where you're coming from.
saying.
They were a team that had low expectations at the beginning of the season, and they have risen to the occasion. But going up against Chiefs, a completely different ball game. So whilst they may have had a good defense, it's about turning that into an offense that can actually work against Chiefs. That'll be the testing of their mettle.
Going up against Chiefs, a big ask for any team right now. Justice Esports have mitigated losses in game 1, but still need to bring it forward. Torsos straight off the kickoff. Not a good start there for Justice on the defense. And Drippe with the rebound. Kami coming through here as well. The pop-up. Steve on the defense again. The Chiefs go for the intercept. They find one, and it's Torsos with the crossbar.
It seems to be the methodology they're going for. That quick, early, aggressive lead, consecutive movements between their players allows them to play safely for the rest of the match. And now Justice have to play from behind, knowing that they struggle to convert.
But it's their first early goal. Justice Esports again, mitigating those losses, seeing what they can find here in this series. And for Justice, it's all been about these 3 rookies making an impact.
And they've got to be able to match the pace. That's going to be the difficult thing.
They're sitting top 4 at the moment. They're sitting 3rd. They took the win against Ground Zero, and it was 3-0. Doesn't matter how you put it. Drippe been setting the ball there. Another early goal there for Chiefs.
Yeah, 2 goals is definitely a hard spot to come back from, especially against the Chiefs, who just do not like to concede them. You have Drippe moving forward. When he's on fine form, every team is in trouble.
But a good reaction to the pass as well. And I think for Chiefs, still looking towards that international debut of Kami. No.
Well, he's been
international debut of Kami on Chiefs.
There we go.
There we go. Off the backboard. This is Justice's turn to attack. What can they achieve? Bouncing into that goal square. Drippe reacts to the pass off the wing there, bouncing down, almost finding its way into the back of that net. Drippe pops it up for Kami, and Justice trying to scramble this defense in time. It'll be Wiss who finally clears it away, but Justice has stopped at the midfield. But the demo from Yeezy. Drippe there first. Witz bounces it down. In comes the shot. There it is for Justice. But Torsos, a slick save to the right side.
That's what we want to see come out of them. They need to utilize that demo to make it a 3-2. It can't be a fair fight when you're going up against the Chiefs, offense or defense.
The Chiefs bouncing the ball down. Still in that goal square. 2 goals already. Justice Esports away from the defense now with the big clear. But Kami, a good reaction to the pass. It was Torsos with the boomer of a shot. Kami back in front of that net. Down and clearing from that goal square. The touch up. Chiefs in front of their own net this time. Justice Esports have an opportunity. It's Yeezy with the shot. It goes wide and Kami helps clear it away. But Justice, again, that room to breathe is starting to come into their favor. It may be 2-0, but again, the growth, the development of this squad.
They've had a little bit more confidence in the past minute, which is good to see. They're not just sitting entirely on the back foot. They have had a couple of opportunities to push forward. And again, we're seeing the push into Chiefs half, even though they don't have the follow-up. In Chiefs have the defense.
A close save by Drippe there, I believe. Kami brings it back around the pop to Torsos. Hits the backboard. An opportunity maybe for Justice Esports if they can get out of net. It's Wiss though, and over the top of Drippe. He does not find himself. It's Drippe with the touch once again. And Justice Esports still getting those clears away. What can they do with it this time? It's Yeezy on the side. Torsos back in the goal square. Steve dunks it down, but momentum has stopped on the ball.
You could do a textbook of how to have a safe offense from Chiefs here. 2 players so often sitting in the midfield happy and ready to rotate back if it looks like it's going pear-shaped.
Drippe with the reaction though. For Justice. Again, still finding opportunities off that back wall. Steve was waiting. Unfortunate there, Justice back in the defense. Chiefs really punishing them now. Testament to how Justice play against this top team of OCE. So far, we expect 6-7-0 games. Justice holding them strong. 1-0, 2-0. This is why they're a top 4 team. This is why, again, Chiefs might find their 3rd. But Justice still managed to hold on.
I think a huge learning point that Justice can take away from this match. They may not be able to win, but they can practice their defense, and that is something that they need to strengthen as they're going into this competition. If they are going to be a top 4 finishing team, when we start going into a final situation, you want to make sure your defense is strong, because we've seen they have an amazing offense. We've seen Yeezy with those huge pop-off seasons.
Yeah, he has. MVP a couple of weeks ago. For Yeezy, the pop forward, Wiss getting past Torsos. It's Steve now, but Kami's already gotten to the ball first. Yeezy with the reaction, the bouncer down, and it's Chiefs on the defense. 1 minute 40. Again, wondering what this top 4 squad at the moment can do. taking a game off the Chiefs. SYF are the only ones who've done it. We're waiting for a moment where Justice Esports can look to do the same. But in game number 2, it looks like realistically Chiefs may have taken it out, but Justice again still trying to find their room to breathe. Whisk off the corner, bumped away. The touch is over to Torsos. Another touch by Kami and kind of out-rotating Justice Esports here. Center. EC denies, but Torsos still there. Steve with the save.
Yeah, you can see it just being reflected on the scorecards as they pop up. 2 players barely breaking away from Donuts with a single save between them. That's
there it is!
They found the opportunity with Yeezy dunking it away.
Finally waiting for Justice Esports to score, and look at the smile on their faces. That's what I'm going to assume we can see. But it's Yeezy dunking the ball past 2 defenders, and Justice. All right, I don't care about anything anymore. A minute remaining. Let's go.
Well, they caught Kami in an awkward time. He was facing backwards, standing within net, but facing outwards, and they managed to utilize that opportunity.
Demo, does it set up Whis? It almost does. Torsos manages to save that one away. With that goal, we start questioning whether Justice are really out in game 2, but unfortunately, Chiefs are right back down this side of the field. Yeezy pushing up once again, uncontested for now, but here comes Kami. The touchdown, and Whis is in front of net waiting. The ball widely cleared, left for Kami's own device. 30 seconds remaining. Chiefs again still have that lead. It's looking troublesome here for Justice.
They need to have some of that confidence that comes from when you score. Despite the fact you are going against Chiefs, you're going to have to contest. You need to take those challenges because there is a chance they can go your way.
Bounce it down. It hits Steve. 15 seconds left remaining. Justice Esports. They've made that impact into the Chiefs. So now, game 3. Where do we go? There was a breakthrough defense. Justice Esports have done what I'd call enough here. For Chiefs, 2-0. Dropped 1 game here in the OCE Championship. Not 1 series, as that final goal goes in 1 game. And this will not be one of them.
Yeah, Drippe is an absolute monster. Torsos, on his days, could be one of the best in OCE as well. And on his worst, he's still an absolutely phenomenal player. And the fact you can back him up with Kami, who statistically doesn't always have the strongest performance, but when you watch him as his positional play, the way he supports his teammates and facilitates their ability to move around the pitch and score, that's why you pick him up.
On the start of the shuffle, though, we questioned, how he'd fit into this team, how Jake coming out, who's now on the desk, funnily enough, is... I was going to make a small joke, but Jake will come back and he'll probably abuse me after. There's this idea that Kami fitting into this team might have had some trouble, but the team is as strong as ever, and it's Kami who's fitting into this team nicely. I'd say Dare even better than Tainted Minds.
So the big test for me is whether or not he fits well compared to Jake against Tainted Minds.
I love how we're asking this like while Jake's on the desk as well. Sorry, continue.
Yeah, but that's the big test, right? Because we have the expectation that if Jake was on this team, that they still would have won. They would have beaten Justice. They would have beaten pretty much every single team, and they probably would beat Tainted Minds. But now with the swap over to Kami, it's how much they beat Tainted Minds by. And if they manage to drop against Tainted Minds, like, ooh, I don't think Jake would have done that.
No, absolutely not. But this Chiefs roster is still looking
powerful.
Good. Looks like they've firmed things up after SYF last week, where, as Jake said, missing a ton, making defensive mistakes. And now it's against Justice, who a team have been rising through expectations. Yes, not as good as the Chiefs. Let me reiterate there. Yes, in comparison to the Chiefs, everyone is crap, right? That's how OC's working at the moment.
Benchmark.
Yeah, no, absolutely. But Justice Esports have risen up to the occasion of top 4. Now they just have to bridge that gap between them and the Chiefs, which is hard when Chiefs have, 3, 4 World Championships under their belt of experience. I think it's 3. No, it's 4.
I think you should be aiming to beat Tainted Minds rather than Chiefs. In terms of expectations, the team that's been consistently the best team in OC, whilst it would be great to beat them, I'll just keep buying you some time.
If they get there this season, it'll be 4th. Yes, it will be. And for Tainted Minds, making the return trip last season, they're looking to do the same thing.
It's a good position to do so as well.
But Justice have risen to the occasion, and this game is going to be important for them, because if they can find at least 1 game win against the Chiefs, then when we progress forward, and if they make top 4, we start saying that Justice can stand up next to the big boys, and this is their opportunity. Game number 3. Let's see if those goals come forward. A wide shot to start us off from the Chiefs.
It's an awkward situation when you're just trying to get games from the Chiefs as your benchmark. It's much easier against Tainted Minds, who are a lot more aggressive, so there's a chance for you to maybe get some counterattack. But the way the Chiefs play so safely now doesn't open themselves up to the opportunities. but it also
no.
does make the score seem a lot closer.
I mean, Torsos just got to pass 2 defenders. He's now missed the touch on the second and third try, but it does not matter. The Chiefs able to dribble the ball down. It's Steve who's got the reaction. Yatesy with the play, almost rolling in. I'm sorry, the net was about 2 kilometers away, but still exciting. Chiefs now heading directly towards Justice. On the defense again, it's Steve with the touch. Yatesy the dribble, but loses the challenge. Over to Kami, it centers up for Drippe who commits, but doesn't find a touch. Yatesy trying to bully in the backside. An opportunity is Justice in front of the Chiefs net. The goal square not touched just yet. It's Whis with the angle, but narrowly misses, or in fact, Kami gets it out of the opportunity for Justice.
And they managed to break through, denying any potential pressure coming out of Justice after they take those 2 shots. Full credit for doing so, but Chiefs still looking confident in that defense.
Justice back on their own defense, so a bouncer there. Kami will find the hit away. Steve with the bouncer again. It's Yatesy off this wall. What can Justice find? Question I've asked many times in this series so far. Torsos pops it up. It's now for Steve, who's run out of boost. He doesn't get an optimal touch, and 3 members of Chief wait in defense. Whis now recovering and reacting. Kami, an easy save once again. Whis on the corner. Justice go wide. Blocked away. Chiefs defense. Something that many have struggled to get through, and now onto the attack. The counter-attack huge. Blocked away by Yatesy, but you can see 2-man pass play is quick, smart, intelligent. And it's very Chiefs-esque.
Yeah, they left 2 players quickly able to rotate backwards. So despite the fact that it went pear-shaped, we did have the opportunity for them to have the 2-man defense. We get past 1, they bought enough time for Drippe to move back to that 3rd man and allows himself an incredibly safe spot.
Steve the pass. Turns into a drop. It's for Yatesy. He's directly on net. Anyone in Chiefs? It's Kami again. Whis back in. Doesn't get the touch. Kami as well. Met with 2 members of Justice. Steve around the corner. The drop in. Touch doesn't exist. Justice Esports still at a 0-0, and the Chiefs haven't found their goal, but is this it from Torsos? No one in net. It's Steve with the touch. Another member of the Chiefs comes in. It's Kami. They don't find the goal. The runaway doesn't exist from Justice, but the bump away from Steve at least halts aggression.
Torsos had no boost, got to pass 2 players and almost got the goal off it as well. Now they're down a player against that Chiefs offense. Justice is in trouble for the next 3 or 4 seconds.
But around the corner, the respawn now. Steve is back up. Justice get the clear eventually. 0-0, 2 minutes. Again, this prowess against the Chiefs is to be commended. The pass misses, but no touches just yet. It's Kami now, the solo play off the backboard. It bounces down. Chiefs missed that one. Blocked again. With the unstoppable force. 2 minutes remaining. Justice still at 0-0.
Yeah, they're doing a great job holding Chiefs away from having the potential for good shots. The control over the midfield may not be entirely in their favor, but they're making it awkward enough that Chiefs can't score.
So Chiefs now on the defense. How long does this last? No big clear just yet, but the pass from Kami upfield. Drippe's been demoed. Torsos, the corner is his, but another demo. Is this it? Justice! What a touch there by Whis. They've gotten the first goal.
They have taken the lead for the first time in this series. They utilized the important demo to eliminate a player to open up the goals, and then did some sick play from the air to close it out.
1 minute 31 goal, Justice Esports. The statement has been made. Sign it, send it off, and let's see where it reaches before it gets sent back, or if it even gets sent back at all.
Now it's whether or not they can hold against the Chiefs Esports. They've been going for so well for the last 3.5 minutes, but it's another
good
token.
Bump there. Kami out of the play. Yatesy with the dribble. 2 members in defense. Justice still looking confident in the play with Steve left in the defense. It's Drippe who's missed the ball. Lost possession. Whis coming up for it as well as Yatesy. But Torsos will dribble it around the side. Justice have to hold on. 1 more minute. Yatesy comes back in. The contest won as Kami picks up his savior medal. Yatesy as well back up into the fray. The pass good, but it's direct on net with Torsos. The second, the third, and that's 1-1.
Justice struggling with their boost management that enabled Chiefs to break through as they decide to go back for safety. Unfortunately, it was not enough. You can't let Chiefs chase you down.
Unfortunate by Steve, but 1-1. Justice again. This doesn't mean it's over, Red Rover.
They've found the
45
secret weapon.
seconds.
They have decided that, you know, if you can get that demo, there is the opportunity to break through Chiefs.
Close call there. Steve and Whis both commit for that ball. It's not going to look good. Chiefs up for it immediately. Torsos passes it off to Kami. Tries to get the second pass off again. Drippe will recover the play. Bring it back to that goal square. It's Yatesy. A small touch. Chiefs pressuring that net, that backboard. And Justice again, close call, a good save by Yeezy, but will it be enough?
Kami and Torsos are both empty now, having replenished on those mid boosts. They're in trouble. That's a full boost team for Chiefs.
But Torsos uses all of it to get towards the ball. Yeezy gets there first. And now for Justice, they just have to keep it away. Overtime imminent. Game number 3. Wiss is there, the bump midair, but it touches the ground. Overtime for the life of Justice in this series.
Whether or not they can pull a game is going to be huge for their tiebreakers. So for them, just getting this can be counted as a win for them, because whether or not Chiefs win is not what they're aiming for.
Overtime against the Chiefs is the most daunting experience. Trippe rolls the ball, but Yeezy with the savior medal. He gets the ball clear, and Steve helps him. In that path, Kami misses. Yeezy now left in front of that net, but the touch from Kami again. Overtime against the Chiefs. Boy, you hate to see it.
Yeah, you can't have that confidence, but Chiefs are too strong. You may have got the first goal, but you can't take that game.
Chiefs with a 3-0. To force them into overtime, though, Justice need to be commended in some regard. They find 2 goals in the series, but Chiefs again holding pressure. And the question we ask is, can anyone beat the Chiefs at this point? It looks like damn sure no. But we'll find out with Tainted next week. However, looking at this series alone, Justice, Jake, start with you, ex-Chiefs member.
Yeah.
Okay, sure.
So,
I mean, there were moments, there were signs of life for Justice in that series, especially when I think Chiefs were kind of at their form.
there were a few shaky times in defense for Chiefs.
Okay.
And,
All right, that's fair. No, I was going to be like, you're going to say, like, oh, Chiefs aren't at their best. But that's fair. You know, there were a couple of moments. Sorry, continue.
There were a few shaky moments. Again, Chiefs are really good at keeping the ball in attack. Teams have really been struggling to hit it over the defenses. I just really want to see just bigger clears from teams. Like, everyone's just kind of just hitting it away, and then Chiefs are sitting really far back, and they're like, thank you. And they just keep such good pressure because of it. The few times Chiefs were in defense, though, they did struggle a little bit.
I think they probably weren't expecting to be in defense. Like, yeah, we're probably just going to like steamroll this. Like, oh, this is a little bit awkward, but we're fine.
Might not have much practice in defense lately.
Yeah, that's it.
But the one thing I wrote down was, like, if SYF can do it, then maybe Justice Esports can do it. I think against SYF, the Chiefs were having more mistakes than today. Would you agree?
Oh, yeah, for sure. They should not have lost that game last
But today, I think Justice, to a degree, held their own.
I think they should have lost that game just then. I think Justice kind of threw it a bit.
Fair. That's honest, Jake. It's honest.
It's a rookie thing where once you get a lead on a team you're not expecting, everyone gets a bit nervous. And then you could see it. They stopped going. There was one point where Whisk got demoed, came back, and then Drippe was chilling there. And then Whisk didn't go. And, like, you know Whisk would be going normally, but he just acted scared. And then it was a goal. And that's the problem you face as the rookie team. You just get a bit scared when you're holding a lead, and you will get punished.
Yeah, and you're seeing an awkward situation as well because you don't have a lot of opportunities against Chiefs. Like, you need to take every single one because possession across every single game, regardless of how well Justice played, was never in their favor.
Yeah. You can't let that get in your head, though. You have to just play your game plan. No matter what, you can't be letting these nerves get to you, or else they will punish you for playing bad.
That's true, because for a team like Justice, we wanted to see if they could close the gap. You know, in the rookie year, it's not the conspiracy story. You know, maybe it's more the Pale Horse story.
I actually think they're doing better than conspiracy.
Yeah, they're doing better than conspiracy. Like, because you loved conspiracy. They got that was like a 7-way tiebreaker.
Jake, the fanboy of conspiracy. I remember.
All right, let's take a step back then and look at Pale Horse. Do you think it's the same progression rate as a team like Pale Horse, who at the time we called kind of a bunch of mix of rookies?
Yeah, I would actually.
Yeah?
I'd say they look very similar. You have, like, Whisk kind of emulating Kami is, like, incredibly promising, and Steve kind of mimicking CJ, I guess. I don't really know about Kia.
But I think the game has matured so much since the Pale Horse era. Whether or not they look like Pale Horse, a lot of the teams are a lot more consistent now. You're not going to get those free wins that Pale Horse picked up unexpectedly.
Well, the thing about Pale Horse was they were also 3 rookies at the time. They were all very new, they were very unproven, and they showed really fast, confident team plays to take games off teams. And Justice are looking like that. They're looking like a very good working team.
And for those at home, Pale Horse was Kami, Kia, and CJ.
Essentially, the old Tainted Minds is not new Tainted Minds.
The very old Tainted Minds.
The very old Tainted Minds. However, for Justice, look, picking up a win against Ground Zero, showing some signs of life against the Chiefs, I think is very important. We'll see how they go next week, because next week they'll be versing. Who we got? We got Justice versing SYF.
Yeah.
So that's kind of a very important matchup.
That's an awesome matchup. That'll be exciting.
I feel like we're going to get a feel of how Justice are playing on the day. However, we're going to have a short break because our very last game is going to be Tainted Minds taking on Legacy, who have not jumped on the pitch yet today. 3 minutes, we'll see you then.